to tell Commissioner Kelly and Chief NYPD spokesperson Browne that they need to go. Enough is enough. So we are going to get this started. I'm going to introduce to you Amna Akbar, an attorney and representative of the Muslim American Civil Liberties Coalition, to lay out the demands of the coalition. So
we're standing here together today as a coalition of Muslim, interfaith, civil liberties, and communities of color groups. And we're here calling for change for many reasons. For many years now, there have been a number of revelations about the way that the NYPD is policing our communities. We've learned about the way that informants are surveilling and infiltrating our communities. We've learned about the demographics unit and the way that it's literally creating maps of Muslims all around the city. We know that the NYPD was responsible in 2007 for the radicalization report that tied together aspects of Muslim identity with potential for future terrorism. And we know that the NYPD showed the film, the hateful propaganda anti-Muslim film, The Third Jihad, to 1,500 officers during its training.
Wow.
Not only did the NYPD show this film to 1,500 officers, but Commissioner Kelly participated in its making. But it doesn't stop there either, because Commissioner Kelly lied about his participation in the production of that film. And it was only after the producer of that film pointed out to the New York Times the specific date for that interview that Commissioner Kelly was in a corner so that he had to admit his participation in the film. But the problems with the NYPD don't stop with Muslim communities. Our brothers and sisters in the African American Latino communities know all too well the problems with the NYPD. Stop and frisk rates are at an all-time high in New York City. And all of this is happening on Commissioner Kelly's watch. So when we stand here and we're calling for Commissioner Kelly's resignation, we're calling for Paul Browne's resignation, it's not just because of the recent revelations about their involvement with the Third Jihad. It's because a number of actions that they've taken in the approach that their department has taken to policing our communities, to infiltrating them and to treating us like we're suspects when we're just living our lives day to day. We have been organizing around these issues for the last year and a half, the last several years, and beyond. Muslim communities, civil libertarians, and communities of colors, and our allies more broadly. We're standing together here today to call for Commissioner Kelly's resignation, to call for the resignation of Paul Browne, to call on City Council to establish an independent community control and oversight mechanism, because we now know that the NYPD does not feel accountable to our communities. The NYPD functions in a very non-transparent way. That's not right in a democracy, and it's not right in this city. The NYPD must be held accountable. The NYPD must act transparently. It's important and it's essential for City Council to institute an oversight mechanism in order for that to happen. Finally, we're calling for the retraining of the officers that watch the Third Jihad, but beyond that, to all the officers who have been trained in counterterrorism policing in this city, because we know from a long history of things that the approach that the NYPD is taking to policing these issues combines Muslim identity with potential for terrorism, and there's just no proof for that. Thank you.
Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go!
He stated that the film was simply playing in the background prior to the beginning of a training session. It is now clear that either someone intentionally deceived Commissioner Kelly or Commissioner Kelly intentionally deceived us. We, as imams, as religious leaders of some of the oldest Muslim congregations in this city, we additionally intend to call upon State Attorney General Eric T. Schneiderman, and if necessary, Federal Attorney General Eric H. Holder Jr. to investigate the showing of that bigoted film by NYPD personnel, as well as the systematic violation of the civil and human rights of Muslim American citizens.
And so I say to the commissioner that he needs to yes, apologize as he has, but also do more and discover how this came to be within the confines of the NYPD and the Police Academy, and how this film got on a loop-to-loop basis in the anteroom, the waiting room, whatever they call it. It still was playing over and over and over again.
Be accountable, Commissioner Kelly. Be transparent and provide unbiased education.
I want to be clear to what I'm after. I'm not here today to ask for Commissioner Kelly's resignation. I am asking for Paul Browne's resignation. There was too many instances where he has blatantly lied about what is going on with the NYPD to the taxpayers who pay his salary. This is not the type of person that we need speaking on behalf of a, as the mayor called it, personal army, who we have trouble with accountability in the first place. I know firsthand of the misinformation, if you want to call it not lies, that Paul Browne can do. When the incident with myself and Kirsten John Floyd happened, he immediately said that there was an officer punched in the face and that we were arrested for our own protection. I defied him to show the ghost puncher, which he hasn't. And if he would lie to me about me, there's no question about what he would lie about. And I think this is shown here so clearly. This is not the first, second, or third time that this has happened. Once, perhaps you can say it was a mistake. Twice, oops, I did it again. 3, 4, 5 times, there's no excuse. And if the mayor and the commissioner will not hold him accountable, will not hold themselves accountable, then perhaps it's time for them to go as well.
Woman, Tish James.
So, we celebrated Dr. King's birthday recently, and the mayor of the city of New York went to a number of churches all throughout the city of New York, and he talked about tolerance. He talked about Dr. King's love for humanity. But the question is whether or not that was just an opportunity to talk about Dr. King. And the question is really for the mayor of the city of New York, what have you done to demonstrate and illustrate your commitment to Dr. King?
Nothing.
And the question is, Mr. Mayor, is if you embrace diversity, if you celebrate the difference of others, if you recognize the right to worship within every community, then why, Mr. Mayor, why was NYPD, why do they continue to go unchecked? And why do you continue, does your members of NYPD associate the jihad with peaceful members of the Muslim community? Individuals who are Americans, who respect the law, respect the Constitution, pledge to be good citizens. Why were members of NYPD subjected to this film, this documentary? An apology is good, but what you need to do, Mr. Mayor, is visit the leadership of the Muslim community immediately, along with Police Commissioner Kelly. And I'm not asking for anyone's resignation at this time. What I'm asking for are hearings and an independent investigation, because NYPD has shown time and time again that they cannot and will not police themselves.
Kelly must go!
Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go!
These demands today have not been made lightly. This is the culmination of a year and a half of outreach on our part and a year and a half of callous dismissals on the part of NYPD leadership. We now know that the commissioner and deputy commissioner knowingly participated in the production of a hate film and lied about both their role and also the extensive use of the film in police training until a court battle forced them to admit that they're lying. This outrage is a violation of the honor of our city and those who protect it. But our 3 demands today are about correction and not retribution. 1, the immediate resignation of Commissioner Kelly and Deputy Commissioner Paul Browne. corrective training for the almost 1,500 NYPD officers that are walking this city with poison in their brain. And number 3, immediate independent oversight over the police department. Seeing propaganda like this and being used in training is almost logical in light of Associated Press reports on the NYPD's program for comprehensive and warrantless surveillance of Muslim New Yorkers. There may be some of us who think that this does not affect us, or even if this film is justified, but know that Muslims are only the target today. When the next minority group comes under attack, let's make sure that we still have some civil rights to protect them with. When the chief of the largest police force in the world finds it okay to lie to another minority group, let's make sure that there is a precedent to protect us from such corruption. It is not about us versus law enforcement. We are the first to defend this city, and this is us helping law enforcement. The brave women and men paid by our tax dollars to keep us safe. It is about us making sure that they do their job well.
We cannot stereotype the Muslim community, and that's wrong. And we are here to say there should be an independent investigation that also should include the Justice Department to find out who authorized this video, who authorized showing this video in the NYPD. And whoever make that decision should resign for that position.
We share the concern of every New Yorker for safety and security for us all. Terrorism is an evil that must be eliminated, but one cannot fight wrong with wrong. One must fight wrong with right. We all want to be safe, but we contend that you New Yorkers must not tolerate violation of civil liberties and profiling of communities based upon race, ethnicity, religion, or politics. Muslims, like every other American, are innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around.
Good morning. My name is Noah Leader, one of the co-founder members of 100 Blacks for CAIR, a former training sergeant for the New York City Police Department. We like to say good morning to the press corps and also to members of New York City Police Department Intelligence Unit, who we are certain is here in the crowd today. The call is for Commissioner Kelly to be removed from office. That is a just cause because under the New York City Police Department Patrol Guide, it is against rules and regulations to associate yourself with hateful materials or hateful organization. He violated New York City Police Department procedure, and as I've known officers to be terminated in the past for violating this procedure, he violated it, he should be terminated. So the call is just. And we know that if you get a new police commissioner, you'll have a new spokesperson, so Paul Browne's departure will follow shortly thereafter. So the call is for Commissioner Kelly to be removed from office. We want the mouth, not the voice.
Right. This video is not teaching the police cadets the CPR slogan. And we know that C for standing for courtesy. But this video corrupting their mind. P for professionalism. But this P is now, this video, polluting their mind. And instead of respecting the Muslim community members, this video teaching them disrespect.
Because Police 101, if you want assistance from the public, you cannot annihilate them. You cannot criminalize them. So in order to get assistance from the Muslim and the Islamic community, you don't demonize an entire community for the actions of a handful of individuals. Police Commissioner Kelly must resign. If he doesn't, the mayor should terminate him immediately.
Kelly must go.
I'm Donna Neville, and I'm part of Jews Against Islamophobia, a coalition of Jews for racial and economic justice, Jewish Voice for Peace, and Jews Say No. On behalf of Jews Against Islamophobia, I stand here today in solidarity with the Muslim American Civil Liberties Coalition, the Muslim community, and all communities fighting for justice and for full respect for the civil and human rights to which all people are entitled.
Yes.
As we all know, a film like this has no purpose other than to fan the flames of bigotry and racism, to instill in our city's police department, as this film does, a belief that one's race or religion or national origin makes them prone to criminal activity is to invite the kind of discriminatory law enforcement to which communities of color in the city have been subjected for far too long.
We're calling for accountability, transparency, and oversight. And we urge an independent body to investigate this matter and implement independent oversight of the police. Thank you.
I think that we need to see that this doesn't happen to any racial, ethnic, or religious group in New York. That's just not who we are as New Yorkers, and it's not who we are as Americans.
And to this day, the NYPD, Commissioner Kelly have written to him and Mayor Bloomberg, they have not responded, but the NYPD has not acknowledged the sacrifice of my son, Cadet Mohammed Salman Hamdani, at their 9/11 memorials. So, and 10 years ago, the NYPD denied circulating that flyer. And here we are 11 years later with everything coming out. This stereotyping, this is not stereotyping. I call it legal persecution of the American Muslims.
That's right.
This is our city. We died on 9/11. We served the armed forces on the front.
That's right.
We are teachers. We are civil rights activists. We are doctors. We are lawyers. This is our city. This is our state. And this is our country. We are the citizens of the United States of America. And our demand is that the Federal Department, Attorney General Eric Holder, needs to get involved to get justice for our community today and now. Thank you.
It is now the end of January, and we still did not receive a response from Mayor Bloomberg or Commissioner Kelly. So we did our...
Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go! Kelly must go!